Hi, I'm Subhankar Ghosh. I'm working in the capacity of Chief People Officer for Zoom Insurance Brokers Private Limited. Now I would speak about the different roles in HR. Although I don't believe in segregating the HR department into various profiles, but it depends. When the organization is quite large and when the organization grows and the manpower also increases, it's important to have a dedicated approach and have different sub-functions for the HR department. But when the organization is small, you need not do. You can have one profile like a generalist profile, and that profile does end-to-end work during the employee's tenure, right from the talent acquisition to the exit management. So I would explain each and every role of an HR. The most important role which I feel in an HR department is the talent acquisition. Now you might ask me that why talent acquisition is the most important aspect in the human resource department. It is somewhat like one wrong entry in an organization can spoil the entire game. So you need to very clearly, candidly scrutinize each and every prospective candidate and then only come to a conclusion whether the person needs to be hired or not. You should never do an hiring under pressure. You should never do an hiring under an influence of any senior official or your own family members. There are a lot of things, at times I do keep an approach. I keep on telling my family members that don't tell anybody that I am working in HR. Because what happens, when you tell that you are working for a department like HR, the expectation of people is that that person will give you a job. So there will be a lot of CVs which will be flowing, but one of the most important aspect which the HR should maintain that he should be very, very neutral in his approach, and that is how he creates his own value in the market. So talent acquisition, I would say, is the most important thing. And if a person is a good talent acquisition professional, I feel the other aspects also comes on its own. The second important thing which I feel in the HR department is important is the business partnering. I feel nowadays that if an HR is unaware about the line of business, he or she will never be able to grow in the HR department. And most of the time I have seen that the HR in any organization, they either don't want to understand the line of business because they feel that they're in HR and they feel that they're very superior. So they completely, stay isolated. And sometimes they work in silos also. But this is one of the most important things which I have actually, taken care of in any organization I have worked for. I personally, once I have got inducted into the system, I tried to stay with the business development guys or the sales guys or maybe the CEO and MD as much time as possible, so that I completely knew about the line of business. I completely knew about the objective of the management, that why this organization is running, and it gives a clear idea to the HR guy that what you need to do from your end to meet those organizational objectives. So you can better jot down the HR objectives for actually getting to that organizational objective. So this is very important. Moreover, when you talk to people, HRs earlier were considered to be very introvert guys. They were considered to be sitting at one position with a laptop, AC room, and talking to nobody, and people will only talk to them when some payroll issues are happening. But nowhere that fundamental, that concept, carries any value nowadays. HR is supposed to interact with all business leaders. Not only the business leaders, they should even go to right to the junior management guy who is working. Then only he will be understanding the pain in that job. Until and unless the HR is able to understand that what all problems are associated in that job and what kind of psychology or what kind of mentality or what kind of skill set is required to accomplish that job, he will never be able to be a good HR professional. So I feel business partnering, networking, whatever you call it, is a very important thing that HR should do. Even if you are a talent acquisition guy, you should do it. Even if you are a payroll guy, you should do it. Even if you are an employee engagement guy, obviously in employee engagement you cannot do work without coordinating or collaborating with people. You need to do. The third important thing which I feel in the HR is important is some departments, some companies, they have got separate team for HR operations, like handling the day-to-day activities, or if there is any payroll issues or any documentation issues. HR is supposed to be known for their documentation. How carefully the documentation has been done, how carefully the process has been followed, how compliant your process is very important. People who are not aware about the HR processes or who doesn't have interest in knowing the process, I think for them they should not be choosing HR as a subject. Most of the people I have seen nowadays in HR, their fundamentals in industrial relations, IR activities is very weak. And that's the reason many people don't get a job in industries and factories also. And moreover, any kind of statutory or compliance issues come in their own organization, they are unable to solve. Even one legal notice coming to an HR guy, I have seen some of the HRs, shaking up because they are not, they don't know about the clauses, they don't know about the legalities, and they are so afraid, in doing or carrying out these activities. So I feel the third important thing is the documentation, the HR operations, the legal activities, the statutory and compliance. This is one of the most important part. Fourth, yes, obviously, the payroll management, the compensation and benefits, it's one of the most important thing. If you want to keep your people happy, obviously you need to understand what is happening in the market all around. You need to do a compensation benchmarking. You need to do a survey that similar kind of organization, what is the payout they are giving? What are the best practices and what are the benefits they are giving to an employee? If those practices are not there in your organization, you should quickly adopt those styles and make your company more creative and innovative, and try to do a lot of things which at least helps the person take a decision. Even if the person has got some other opportunity, he can take a call whether to stay in this organization or not. If the employee doesn't get an opportunity to at least think also that what are the benefits this employer has, the current employer has given, obviously the person will take only one choice, that is moving out of this current company and joining the other company which is giving more benefits. So this is what the last thing which I would tell, these are the functions which are there. But yes, saying that the most important function still I would feel that is talent acquisition. So I would request all the budding HR professionals and also people who are planning to make or start a career in HR to understand the talent acquisition in a very good fashion. People might think that talent acquisition is easy, it doesn't involve much of thinking, it is only sourcing, but no, it is not. There are a lot of science and arts behind it. Understand it well. Thank you.